am Duncan MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod.
My name is Ichabod Crane.
Name's MacGyver. Colonel Jack O'Neill, SG-1.
I am Batman!
Hello, I'm the Doctor.
So there's this man, he has a time machine. Up and down history he goes, zip, 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 getting into scrapes.
For years, and maybe more than that, right, Mac? But how long has it been? Has it been 6, 7 years ago?
Are you telling me that you built a time machine? Out of a DeLorean?
Hey, now wait a minute. Now wait just a minute.
Human beings were not meant to sit in little cubicles staring at computer screens all day.
I've got something for you.
Oh, merci, Sonora.
Just one more thing, sir.
Oh boy.
Just like that. Bing, bang, boom.
At this point, I'd settle for the boom.
They'd love it here, don't you think?
This is what I'm saying.
And by the way, where is your podcast? Tell everybody that's here.
Welcome to the Never Gets Old podcast. The podcast of all we love in TV, movies, music, and comics. With your hosts, Mac Jackson and Nathan Shell. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Facebook, and YouTube. Donations at paypal.com, at macwjackson@comcast.net.
Listen to my chapin songs, DJ saying that they're too long. His guitar may be silenced, but his soul goes on and on. Lord again, oh Lord again. His stories were like us, a beginning and an end, alone again. Now I listen in my room, cats in the cradle in the...
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the latest episode of the Never Gets Old podcast, the podcast of all you love in TV, movies, music, comics, pop culture,
All of it.
stuff, life. I'm your host, Mac Jackson.
And I'm Nathan Shell.
So there you go. It is currently August 15th, and we now have a running mate for Joe Biden.
Yeah.
So, not to get political, I just wanted to mark the occasion and say,
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this announcement was later than it has been for candidates in the past.
surprisingly, it's earlier.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, because they were saying, well, he has until the end of August.
Then again, previous years we haven't been living in the age of what day is it? I don't remember.
I know. How's your pandemic orama going?
It's been going all right. With the business, things have been going pretty steadily. We have our dips and ebbs and flows with sales, but we've been averaging anywhere from about 10 to 12 orders a week. So I'm pretty content with that.
Yeah.
I mean, all in all, aside from not blowing all the money on conventions and all that stuff, it's been all right. I mean, conventions are always nice for a nice influx of business, but yeah.
Right.
But yeah, all in all, it's been getting acclimated to the current normal.
Right.
Certain things you get so used to being able to do, like a date night. Unfortunately, we don't have that luxury right now because, granted, some businesses are starting to open back up and everything. But like Jess and I, we were going on car dates.
Sure.
Where we would go to Sheets, go in, order our food, grab it, and take it out to the car, and we'd go to there's a church that's not too far from us that has two choices in view: the graveyard or the field across the street from the church. So we'd sit there and we'd look at the field across the street from the church and sit in the back, eat our meal or whatever.
The neighbors are quiet.
Yeah, don't have to worry about them, throwing loud parties. Right. But yeah, so we would do that once a week, and that kind of helped get our outsideness, and with her working for the school, she's been, working with a mask on. They've been shuffling around everything with their
the impending school year, which there's a lot of concerns there, which, I mean, it's an unfortunate situation we're living in. Thankfully, if anything, springtime kind of showed us that we are able to try to do telecommuting, be it for work, be it for therapy, be it for doctor checkups, be it for schooling. Is it ideal? No. But is it something to at least help until we are able to safely return to close to the other, close to our former normal, which I don't think we're ever going to truly fully go back to that. And realistically, we shouldn't. But I think if we take the lessons, hopefully we've learned between all this, we can adapt to a new normal and just be safer. I mean, that's ultimately what it boils down to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it's it's so freaking frustrating because we should be beyond this by now.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a semi-long story to tell, but it's all connected.
Okay.
About a guy, the guy who works in Best Buy told me a story of how I got to Best Buy. You'll find out. But he said on this topic, I said, how's it going here with all of this? Good. I said, do you have to deal with any a-holes or anything? He goes, oh, yeah. Yeah, we had a guy come in here the other day, refused to wear a mask. This is America. I'm not wearing my mask. And they all said, well, sir, we can't force you to wear a mask, but it's the considerate thing to do. I don't care. I don't want to hear it. Okay, then we cannot help you. You can walk around the store, but we cannot be anywhere near you. Mm-hmm. So the guy walked around moaning and groaning, trying to cause a scene. People ignored him as much as they could.
Yeah.
And before the cops were called, he left. But as he left, he turned around, and I didn't wear your stupid mask. And he yelled, America, and threw his fist in the air and walked out. I'm like, I can't. It's shocking. It's infuriating. And if you ever wanted to give up on humanity, that's your example right there.
Yeah. It's disheartening.
Before Trump, I would listen to somebody from a different country say, oh, you Americans, blah, 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 blah. And I could hear them out and then say, actually, and then have some sort of counter. In the last 4 years, I just go, yep. Because I've been on the podcast. We do it every couple months. I'll tell you in a second. It's the Collaboration Comic-Con is what it is.
Oh, okay.
And it has come up. And they're from Canada, and other parts of the world. And they're saying, how's it going there? And I said, I can't defend America at the moment. I mean, I'm not one of the people, but the fact that there are people that
it's very disheartening because, like, growing up, we have this belief about, the good in our country. And as you put it, the last 4 years, we're seeing that good is in a minority.
Yeah.
It's in the minority. And it's astounding. It's the selfishness. And it's not just a single generation. Like, I've seen older people pulling this nonsense. I've seen younger people. I've seen people my own damn age. And it's astounding. Like, and I've made posts like this back when the pandemic started. And I said, we have a roadmap exactly on how to handle this. People are choosing to ignore that. 100 years ago, we dealt with the 1918 influenza, also known as the Spanish flu. And the reason it got so bad is exactly for the same reasons it's getting bad now. People are putting their own selfish needs, their own selfish desires ahead of everyone else's. The reason other countries are dealing with this a lot better is because they have a sense of community, not individualness. Like New Zealand, I think they're at like 100+ days either without any recorded cases of it, or it's in like the low single digits, like less than 5. Like, and it's like, it's that astounds me that there are countries out there that have records like that. And then you look at us and it's like, we're lucky if as a nation we're below 1,000 new cases.
You know, and there's people on Facebook that I've seen post, no mask, it's all a hoax. And I have to either ignore it or defriend them because I can't deal with that level of stupid. It's not a political issue. It's a common sense issue.
Yeah,
and the fact that it hasn't affected them personally is why they have that arrogance. And do you remember the scenes in, let's say, Independence Day or any sort of global catastrophe type movie where in the end, the world comes together with, obviously, here's the right thing to do. We can all join hands and form a force field of love, and it makes you feel good at the end of the movie.
Yeah,
We're
it's that
too
whole
stupid. This
to get
country
there,
has people that would doom the entire planet because of their arrogance and stupidity.
I got a good analogy for you. The U.S. is the guy in the zombie movie that will hide the fact that he got bit by a zombie.
Right, without a doubt. I've said that, yeah.
It's astounding. Like, and, you know, you see these disaster movies where, oh, come on, people wouldn't do that. People would believe the scientists. Nope. I apologize for ever griping about how unrealistic, like, Armageddon, all the different, like, world apocalyptic movies were, you know, coming out there for a while. I apologize for any naysaying I did that. Oh, people wouldn't react like that. Nope. Clearly 2020 has proven me wrong. People, it's like Kay said in the Men in Black movie. Individuals are smart, but people are stupid.
Or
paraphrasing
like
it,
Grissom has said, and he's quoting something else. He goes, I love humanity. It's the people I can't stand.
Yeah, it's astounding. I just, he was probably referencing some literary reference.
Yeah, like Shakespeare or somebody.
Shakespeare, yeah. But yeah, it's just,
well.
But I mean, I will say, you know, with all that's going on, you know, I've been utilizing the time to help Jess and Ashley with their podcast, getting better at doing audio editing and everything. And I've actually been enjoying it. It's been fun.
Good.
I just recently learned how to cancel out noisy backgrounds like fans and stuff like that, which was simple. More simpler than I thought. Been having fun with that. Been toying around with the idea, helping them with some merch ideas for like t-shirts and goofiness. With a discovery that Jess and I made in the basement a little bit before you and I are recording this, there's another added honeydew project that's going to be started tonight and hopefully finished up tomorrow. But yeah, I demoed part of our basement so that we could start, hopefully, knock on wood, working on some stuff there. You know, I've been doing everything I can to keep busy because otherwise I'll just go absolutely nuts.
Well, see, here's the thing. I'm blessed enough that I do have my job. I have to do these Zoom meetings, not as we could see each other and the audience can see us. It's just audio. But it's still pain in the rear end. But I'm blessed enough to still be working from home. My position is going to change within the next month or so. But other than that, it's been wonderful in a way. All these people in the entertainment business that I've wanted to chat with on the show aren't working.
Yeah, so
they're all just hanging out, dying to talk to somebody. Well, hi, remember me? And then they go, oh yeah, hey, let's do something. I'm like, yeah, yes, sir.
That's fantastic. Yeah,
I know. And it's
why not
that I apparently have that good reputation amongst them, where they're referring me, which is sweet.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm overjoyed that you've been, because I know you and I had been trying like once a month to try to get one or the other podcasts recorded.
Yep.
And it just, with everything going on, I mean, we'd had a roommate for a while, which thankfully he's lucked out and found an apartment and he's safe and everything. So we've kind of like regained the privacy, you know, which has been good. But I had to laugh. The day we moved him out, Jess and I looked at each other. We're tired. We don't want to cook. And I said, well, what do we want to do for dinner? Because I'm kind of hungry. Because, you know, moving someone, you get hungry. You build up an appetite. And she goes, I want Chipotle. And I looked at her. I'm like, I could kiss you right now. Because I was thinking that, but I didn't want to suggest it because I didn't want to like influence her thought process. And then we had that thought of, well, we don't have to worry about the roommate, because usually if we were going to order food out, we'd offer, hey, as long as you pay us for the food,
sure,
we'll go ahead and order you something. And he's one of these indecisive types. So, you know, for you or I, we could roll up the app and be like, okay, well, I'll have a burger, I'll have a taco, or I'll, you know. I timed him the one day. It took him 20 minutes, and it really angered me because when I handed them the phone to look at the food, the wait time was 25 minutes. It was an hour when he was done because enough people had filled the queue, and I'm like, I'm hungry, and now I have to wait.
I know.
So,
On that note, now again, I have this story to tell you, but let me tell you. Speaking of that type of thing, we've been using Grubhub on certain days, or
nice,
whatever the other one was. I remember you first saying, "Oh, we tried Grubhub," and at the time I thought, "Why? Why? If you could get in your car and go somewhere, why spend the extra money for Grubhub?" Then the pandemic hit, and now I go, "That's why you use Grubhub."
Now you get
or
it.
On a day when it's so freaking hot and Cindy comes home and doesn't want to cook, we're doing Grubhub.
Yeah.
Or whatever, the DoorDash or whatever it is.
I think it's Grubhub, Uber Eats, DoorDash, and there's a fourth one. But like in our area, the only one that actually, well, I haven't checked Grubhub, but the only one that in our area that was working is DoorDash. So,
well, the one day that it was a Sunday, and she goes, "What do you want to get?" I'm like, "Thai. I want Thai food." Okay. So she orders it. And, you know, on the phone, it's all follow this, and here they're on their way, and they'll be there in 20 minutes. Okay. So she's watching it, and she goes, "Why is this guy getting on 81? No, why is he's going the wrong way. Okay, now he's going away from the house." All of a sudden, she gets a thing on her phone that says, "Your order has been delivered." She walks outside, looks around, says, "No, it hasn't."
Oh,
she calls them up and goes, "Hi," or text the person or whatever.
Yeah.
Whoever the DoorDash people are.
The driver, yeah.
No, not the driver. Couldn't get a hold of the driver. You can't talk to the driver.
Oh, okay.
Customer service or whatever.
Yeah.
Yes, it says your order has been delivered. Well, it hasn't. Well, he says he delivered it. She writes back, "He's lying." Well, he said he couldn't find the house. Okay. He didn't even get in our neighborhood. He took our food and ran.
Yeah.
Oh, well, now after going back and forth for a half hour, the person finally relents and goes, "All right, we'll give you your money back." She's like, "Yeah, you think? And here's $10 on your next order." Good. So this pig face went, "Ooh, Thai," and thought nobody's going to catch him. They have a record of this.
Yeah.
They have him registered.
Yeah, they from what my understanding is, the driver basically is, for lack of better wording, low-jacked while they're on service or while they're on duty. Wow.
Then she goes to order again, and the thing comes up, "Nope, sorry, too late. There's not enough time. We close in a half hour. We can't complete your order at this time." So she's like, "Okay, now it's late. Now we're really hungry because it's an hour and a half later."
Yeah, you're hungry, you're angry, and
I'm cranky.
Just, yeah.
Cranky, angry, hungry.
Yep.
And hangry, as they say.
Hangry, I
So,
think is the term, yeah.
Then she is like, wow. All right, where do you want next? We got to pick something else. Well, she tries to order somewhere else, and it's Sunday, and everybody closes early.
Mm-hmm. Unless it's like a fast food joint, yeah.
Which is what she ended up doing. She goes, what do you want? I said, at this point, I don't care.
Yeah.
So she's like, Wendy's? Fine. She runs herself down. Yeah, but she had to go herself now. When you're in the mood for something extravagant and wonderful like Thai, and you're left with the Wendy's chicken sandwich, it just doesn't.
It's like you want this, but then you end up I'm raising my hand for those that can't see, and then you get like I hate using this term because Wendy's is actually fairly decent, but it's like you scrape the bottom of the pan that they used at the end of the day.
And like you said, there's nothing wrong with Wendy's, but it's not the Thai food. My tummy.
Yeah. Well, like if like we had ordered food from a local place, it's like a Korean fusion place, basically hibachi.
Sure.
And it's the first time we'd ever ordered from them, and I thought we were going to run into a similar problem you guys ran into, where the food just goes whoop, disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
We must have called them at the right time because according to the thing, it was going to take them about half an hour. I'm like, okay, that's a reasonable amount of time to wait if they're going to cook it and everything. They were at our door in 15 minutes.
That's sweet.
We must have hit them just at the right time.
Yeah.
And because, I looked at my phone and I'm like, oh, okay, it's still processing. Okay. Set my phone down and like 10 minutes go by and I hit the thing and it was stuck in like a weird refresh where the location the food was from and our place was there, but like the little car icon had disappeared and the time
he drove off a cliff.
And I'm like, that's not good, and all of a sudden there was a bing boom at our door and I'm like, no, there's no way. Went out, sure enough that was the food. I'm like, holy,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's so freaking cool. We live in a day and age that's something that we can do, as you said, because of the pandemic.
Yep.
So
I wouldn't want to do it just out of laziness. I always thought
we try to limit it to one,
but the first time's free. Like you're just so I'm like, all right, that's how they get you.
Yeah, and the delivery fees aren't that bad. I mean, yeah, the food's a little bit more expensive, but they're getting paid, the restaurant's getting paid, and I know the driver's getting their tip. So
right.
I mean, it's it's not a perfect system, but it's
yeah. Well, now I want
better than nothing.
Oh, now I'm in the mood for Thai food. We have a new listener, by the way, who's not only watching these videos now that Zoom has allowed us to do YouTube videos, also listening to the audio versions on all the apps.
Okay.
My son.
Very cool.
Who loves our conversations. He'll come down and tell me, I was listening to the one where you mentioned about Doctor Who, and you weren't into Doctor Who at the time. You were just learning, and you said this. And it's just funny because he'll play back conversations. He goes, you were right about this, or it's funny how you didn't know at the time what was coming, and and this applies to, you talked about the new Avengers, how there was going to be a Daredevil show. I'm like, yeah. So he's
That's
enjoying,
cool.
Yeah.
That's cool that he's going through the backlog of the episodes too. That's fun.
And when I said that we were doing one today, all right, let's go. I said, you realize I'm also going to talk to Larry Hankin. Yeah, I know, but you and Nate, all right. So
that's cool.
In case, we're wondering if we're boring the audience, there's a vote in our favor.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. Okay. So here's my adventure from last weekend.
Okay.
Now this is multifaceted. There are many levels. It's going to talk on a very philosophical, practical level. Okay. And hopefully entertaining all the way through.
Hopefully.
Here we go. So we did our annual camping trip last Friday. Now, Mikey has made it very clear that it's his favorite trip to make. He'd rather go there than Disney World. So I'm thrilled because I'm not going to Disney World anytime soon on my nickel. But again, I'm proud because we've taught them to appreciate the things in life that matter. You don't need a big flashy sign to have things be
I mean,
wonderful.
Some of the best times I've had were when I was camping.
Exactly.
So.
And you appreciate nature and yada, yada, yada. You also appreciate your nice warm bed when you come home.
Mm-hmm.
So Friday, Mikey and I go. The girls are going to come Saturday. I said, come early so that way you have more time. Mikey and I go. We have everything that we need. We get there in about an hour. We set up the campsite. I set up the tent. Well, now it's time to go fishing. Well, first of all, when we get there, we had to do the whole walk into the office and pay the rest of it and buy the wood and buy the ice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're wearing our masks because you have to.
Mm-hmm.
It's the considerate thing to do.
Yeah.
Well, they had called earlier in the week saying, hi, it's Jess from the campsite. Did you send your deposit? Now, in the past, I've never sent a deposit because we're definitely showing up. You know, we go every year. As a matter of fact, they know our video. The video that I made when he was 3. They said, oh, you're the guy who did the video. I said, yeah. Oh, we love that. I said, thank you very much. So they called to say, did you send the deposit? I said, yeah. Well, the mail is really slow, so blame the pandemic, whatever. Yep, it's on its way. Okay, because we didn't know if we should cancel for you or not. I'm like, you don't need to do the whole tough guy speech. We'll be there. Okay. So then we get there, and now we've set up the site. Now we're going to go fishing because my kids and I love our fishing. Well, it's just Mikey and I. So we drag our crap up. We're fishing. I've caught 3 fish. They haven't restocked that pond in years. I'm getting sunnies that are only yay big. And a lot of them are just nibblers. They nibble the worm and, but occasionally you get one. But I took a couple pictures of us when I did catch a fish. And I sent it to Cindy and I sent it to my mother. And we're having a good time.
As you do.
I cast out the line, and it goes a little to the left. Not quite where I wanted it, but I thought, I'll just reel it in and start again. I don't know if you remember, but last Friday, because of the tropical storm, it had rained a little bit in the morning. I went to step to reel it in, and my foot slid down the little embankment into the water.
Oh, no.
And splush. Mostly. But then I go, okay, and I go to get up, so I'm not completely in the water. I could kind of save myself.
Right.
But as I put my other foot on the bank, the one's in the water, and I'm kind of halfway, pants way up in the water. I brace my foot, and it slips again, and I go into the water.
Oh, God. Sorry.
No,
not to laugh at your,
it would be
trying not to laugh at your pain, but
no, it would have been hilarious. I don't care, whatever.
It's only funny because you're okay.
Exactly. Mikey's freaking out because he thinks, what if I broke an ankle?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I could have snapped an ankle because the way I went in was boom, splush, get up, and then I couldn't get out.
Yeah.
So now I just
probably because of caked in mud and everything on your shoes and
and I've taken into account that, okay, I'm going to get wet, whatever, just go with it.
Yeah.
But, where's the fishing pole?
Ooh.
Now, my father and I share fishing poles. Worst case scenario, on the way home, I go buy him a new one. He doesn't care. But I'm like, Mikey goes, it's right here. I said, okay. And I stand up and I pat my pockets. Now, my wallet I had left in the car, thank God. That was more for comfort, and I knew you're in the woods. What am I buying? My car keys are there. My Swiss Army knife's there. Where's my phone?
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Oh
no!
Now I'm wearing cargo shorts, which are deep. So I'm thinking, fine, they're cargo. That's why I wear cargo shorts. Deeper pockets, not going to lose stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I guess in the fall it slipped out.
It shifted just enough that it went whoop, whoop. Oh no!
And I'm feeling around in the mud, and I look, and it had just fallen into the water off the bank. It was sideways in the water,
and it went.
Well, no, it was sitting there, and I scooped it up, and I shook it, and I dried it, and I thought, okay, it's still working. It's still working. Okay, I said to him, I'm done. I'm frustrated. I'm wet. I'm panicking about this phone now because here's an expense I don't want to have.
Yeah.
For the inconvenience. Touch. Okay, everything seems to be working. I text Cindy to tell her what's going on just in case she needs me and doesn't hear from me. Please tell my mother. We go back to the site. It's still working. There's a little glow at the bottom. Okay, but it's still working. Maybe it'll dry up, but it'll be fine. I plug
if you submerge a watered down phone in rice over 24 hours.
You're jumping ahead.
Sorry. Okay.
No. It's okay.
Because I know sometimes in panic we forget things like that. So okay.
My MacGyverness kicked right in.
I figured it probably would.
So, okay, she'll bring rice. She'll bring rice if we need to. But you know what? It seems to be doing fine. Look, it's wait. Now the screen is getting dimmer. Maybe I just have to adjust the lighting. Maybe it just affected the light. No, it's getting dimmer. Oh, it came back on. No, it's getting dimmer. Now the phone is still working, but the screen is getting dimmer. I get one more shot, and I call Cindy, who, by the way, is at Red Robin sitting outside with my daughter having a girls' night. I had already called and left her a message. She didn't respond, so I call again, and I get her. I said, phone is about to die. I just tell my mother, when you're here tomorrow, we're at Site 22, ask them for directions, whatever. Because she hasn't been there. Like, I know it like the back of my hand. She's not quite there yet. Well, I hang up with her, and you can still hear going, buzz, 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 buzz. Oh, Nate sent me a link. Buzz, buzz. Like that type of thing. So it's now
little notifications.
It's now antagonizing me because it's here, but you can't see it.
Yeah.
And I thought, man, son of a bait. And then it got to the point where if you pick up your phone, it'll show you the time. It was doing that. So I'd open it. And as soon as I would open it, it'd go, yes, close again. Or at least the screen would go, lit up, now it went away.
Yep.
Lit up, now it went. So it'd go light up, and it was at phone numbers where I could just say call. So I was trying to call Cindy. Nope, not going to let you. So now, I'm trying to not let it bother me because here I am on our annual trip. And I'm not going to be okay until Cindy gets there. She gets there around 11 Saturday. And so I feel good. Okay. I flagged her down, helped her find where we were. She had to take all the pictures for the camping trip.
Obviously, you're.
It wouldn't matter if I did. Yeah. So we have a wonderful time. Mikey and Everly brought their school books, so it was quite the bonfire we had going, at our campsite, because there's a lot of books, boxes of paper. We had enough kindling, and I brought a fire starter. What do you call it? The flint?
Yeah.
Okay. I bought one of those a couple of years ago, so he's trying to, and we're getting it, but because it rained, everything isn't quite crisp enough.
It just has that enough dampness is just annoying. Yeah.
Yep. But he knows how to do it, so that I'm happy with that. But I'll tell you something. We live in a world where everybody goes, oh, we're too connected to our phones. And that's true if we let it happen. And I try to keep it in perspective of, look, you don't have your phone right now. it's not the worst thing in the world. You can go without your phone for a couple days. No, you really can't, because one, just for communication, with texting is a thing. Like if you had sent me a text over the weekend, you would have been like, why isn't he responding?
I would have been like, okay, well, maybe the signal sucks up where he's at.
Right.
Who knows,
Right, but you know me, I try to get back immediately. I woke up this morning and saw your text, went boop, 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 and responded.
Yeah, like if I don't hear from you within, like, I'd say after a 24-hour time period, that's when I know to worry.
Sure.
Because usually, okay, you might be watching a movie with the family, you might be out camping, fishing, you might be tied up where you may or may not hear the phone, you might not have good signal, but I know within that 24-hour time frame, you're good to get back to me,
Exactly. And so I really felt, and also with the whole Forever Adventure Networks crap, I'm constantly talking to people in regards to that, whether it's email or texting or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, people don't realize how integral mobile devices like that have actually become.
Right. Because it's everything is done now through my phone, except for
through a 6-inch by 3-inch.
You're carrying a computer, is what you're doing. So I really felt that I'm justified in the amount of crap that I do on this phone, that I really feel the impact. So we enjoy the rest of the trip. I'm sure there's stories within that I'll tell, but my thing is, on the way home, I'm not going straight home. Me and the boy are going to go to Best Buy because I now need to buy a new phone. I won't go to Verizon anymore to buy my phone because, one, they price them more. Two, their customer service sucks. I don't know if you remember the last time I needed to get one. The guy was just sitting.
I was going to say, I remember you telling me your experience. Like, my experience with their customer service has been pretty good, but
online, like talking to them on the phone is better than dealing with them.
They tend to have like their best customer service on the phone. Like the local shop that we go to, the guy that I guess is the supervisor, manager, whatever, he makes sure that the people that work there have a good focus on, do everything that we can to help the customer out, even if unfortunately we have to tell them bad news or whatever. But yeah, I mean, with some of the horror stories you were telling me, I'm like, I don't understand just from a customer service standpoint how that some of these people have a job.
Well, so we've been going. I went to Best Buy last time, so I'm going to Best Buy this time.
If it works, why break it?
Pandemic world. I said, Mikey, do you have your mask? Yep, I have my mask. And the fact that this is part of our wardrobe is amazing to me. But a lot of people have been buying our stuff through Redbubble with masks. Like a lot of masks. Yeah,
why not?
I'm thrilled, and thank you to everybody who does, because besides it being nice promotion, I'm glad I can provide something good under this lucky
Well, it's like when Redbubble sent out that email, oh, hey, now we're opening this up for people to have as an option. I went, because I run the Redbubble for Jess's podcast. So I said, granted, they only have one thing right now. It's their logo. So I'm like, okay, take that, throw it on the mask. I'm like, okay, position it, okay, looks cool. And I'm like, well, heck, I can go do that for the Dark Ops Redbubble.
Should, absolutely.
So it's like, it's good that we live in a day and age where everyone is trying to do what they can for the common good.
Right. So we have our masks. We go pitter-patting inside, and there's a woman standing there. And she has it roped off where you can't just walk into the store now. I said, hi. She goes, how can we help you today? Well, I need to buy a new phone. Oh. Do you have an appointment? I said, this is Best Buy. I just want to buy a phone. Yeah, but our guys are really backed up right now. This is maybe 2:30. She goes, how about 4? What you do is you go over there, you see the girl at that counter? Yes. She will set you up for a 4:00 appointment. Okay, I just need to buy a phone. I want to buy a phone. I want to take the crap from this one and put it on the new one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. We'll go talk to her. Sure. So she's setting it up, and I tell her all that. She goes, oh, you need to transfer stuff? Yeah. Well, that's that desk. Those are our tech guys. You might have to come back and have them do that in a couple days, or they'll give it back to you in a couple days. I said, nope. I'm not transferring launch missile codes. Mm-hmm. I want my contacts put on the new phone. Oh, well, that they could probably do in 5 minutes. Great. So I run home. I cram McDonald's down my throat, and I head back. I walk in. It's a new guy, big bouncer guy. Hi, how can I help you? Mm-hmm. I have a 4:00 appointment. Oh, all right, Jimmy will handle that. Jimmy, you have your 4:00 here. Oh, okay. All right, what are we looking at? I said, I want to buy a new phone. Okay, Mac. I said, yep. Okay, who's your provider? Verizon. Mm-hmm. What's your PIN number? My what now? Your PIN number. 8675309. I don't know. How would my PIN number? I don't. How many digits is that? 4. Oh, 5309. How about that? I have no idea. He goes, well, I'm sorry, I can't help you. Yes, you can, Jimmy. Nobody knows their PIN number. I'm checking my wallet because I keep everything in my wallet. And he goes, does your wife know it? I don't know, Jimmy. Well, call her. I said, okay, except Jimmy, I can't use my phone. Yeah. That's why I'm here. Right.
That's why you're here.
Right. Here, use mine. So I call her. Of course, Cindy doesn't know what it is. I said, is there any way you could look it up? No. Have him try 8675309. I said, try this. He goes, well, here's the thing. If it's wrong, they're going to lock you out for 48 hours.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God.
Jimmy, I swear to God, how do we work around this? He goes, what you do is there's a Verizon store up the hill. I said, yes, I come to you because I don't want to go to them. Well, if you go in and you tell them what you need, they'll just give you your PIN number and you come back here and we'll get started. I don't have to make a new appointment? Okay. See you in a minute, Jimmy. Go out to my car, drive up the hill through traffic, like 15 minutes to get there, park the car, walk up to the door.
Oh, no.
What the? Why is it locked? I look. Open. 10 to 7, 10 to 7, 10 to 7. Sundays. Closed. Always. Okay. All right. Now I'm getting aggravated. On the way back, I passed the mall. In the mall, there is a kiosk of Verizon people. Mm-hmm. I run in. There's signs. This stand is monitored by cameras. They are selling extensions and chargers, and nobody's around. And on top, there's no display phone. So they're not there anymore. So I start walking through the mall thinking maybe they moved to a bigger store. Maybe, why would they go? And I walked by another kiosk. I said, hey, Verizon, what's their deal? Oh, yeah, they haven't come back since the pandemic.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. Jimmy is going to do this for me. He's just going to do this for me now. So I drive all the way back to Best Buy. Now I'm not a happy camper.
No, because you're frustrated because one, they can't do the simple task. Two, the workaround that Jimmy came up with ain't happening because, for lack of better wording, every Verizon employee within the immediate area disappeared like a fart in the wind. So
I go stomping back into Best Buy. Hi, how can I said, it's me. I'm with him. Oh, okay. He gets out of my way, opens up the strap, and I walk through. Jimmy's helping somebody else. I wait for them to be done.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, hi, how'd you do? Tell you how I did, Jimmy. So I told him, I said, look it, before you tell me how you can't help me, here's how you will. I was here last time. I bought a phone. I didn't have to remember my PIN. I want to buy a phone. I want to have the crap transferred onto the new one. The end. Do you have your license? Yeah. Here. Okay, good enough. Whoa. Wait a minute. That is what you needed? Yeah. Why?
Oh my God.
Jimmy, why did you make me drive all around God's green earth for a PIN number?
If it wasn't required.
It's security. Okay. He goes, well, imagine. Now he thinks he's going to be smart. Now imagine somebody buys a phone. They know your number. We would just have added your phone number to their phone and they could take over your life. I said, understood. But when the person says, as I'm sure we all do, we don't know our PIN number. Can't you just take a license? Yeah.
Then why didn't you say that in the first place?
Jimmy, just give me the freaking phone. Let's just move forward. He goes, all right, well, what do you got there? I don't know, a Samsung. No, it's a Motorola. Okay. What are you looking at? Same thing. Get me that. Well, you have the Motorola G. What we have now is a Motorola G Fast. The screen's bigger. It's got 2 days worth of charge. It's got, feature this. Now I'm waiting for him to get through it because bottom line, what's the price? $200. I said, go get it, Jimmy. This new phone that I got, Motorola G Fast, is cheaper than the previous one that I had bought.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah. So I'm like, Jimmy, don't try and upsell me. Let me save you the trouble. How much is it to get the insurance? $40 for a year. I said, let's do that. Let's do that, Jimmy. Okay.
Just in case.
Yeah, because I'm going to go camping in a year, and God knows I could get struck with lightning. And
Jesus.
So I have a new phone.
Good.
But then, wait, I'm sorry. Here's the caveat to that story.
All right.
Jimmy, transfer my contacts and everything from that phone to the new one. Well, that's a problem. Of course it is. You have to allow us to do it. You're allowed. No, you have to actually go in and open your phone.
Oh, no.
I can't see my screen. I know. Why can't you just,
oh, my God.
Why can't you just plug in? Because here's what I'm thinking.
Oh, no.
Again, I don't work there, so.
Well, no, it does make sense. It does make sense that you would need to interface, you would need to interface with phone A to put stuff from phone A to phone B.
But
it does make sense.
It's on a screen. So I said, don't you just plug it in? You see both things side by side and just click and drag? Yes. Then do that. We would have to say it's okay on your screen.
Yeah, they'd need to authorize it on the phone that the information.
Son of a bee, Jimmy. Okay. Well, he goes, no, there's a workaround. You could do this yourself. When you get home, plug your phone into your computer and it should go bloop, bloop, on, just pop up under your drives.
Mm-hmm.
And then that way you click, drag it to an empty folder, plug in the new phone, click and drag it back into the new phone. So I came home, all bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, sit down to do this.
Mm-hmm. Nothing.
For whatever reason, the folder isn't even, it's not even showing that I plugged in the other phone on the screen. I called Cindy and I said, look. She goes, yeah, it's not there. So I said, okay. So now I've lost the pictures, lost all my apps, and lost all my contacts. I said, sweetie, could you be so kind as to manually type in all the contacts from your phone
that you have?
Sure.
Yeah.
So while I'm trying to do the other thing, she's over there type. She hands it back to me. All of a sudden the phone, because it's going, welcome to your new Motorola. Click this to do this, and here's a feature you didn't know about, and there's this. Click on it, and it's, would you like us to transfer your information from your Motorola G, your old phone, to your new one? Yeah. I hit it. It gave me all my contacts, all my apps. It even put my screensaver, my wallpaper, on the new phone from my old phone. The only thing it didn't give me was the freaking pictures that I had. And if you've been on Twitter or anywhere, all my art I will make, and and then for promotional issues, stuff.
Yeah, the different filtered photos and stuff that you throw up there. Yeah.
Well, all those pictures are gone, but I do have everything else. Thank God.
Pictures, unfortunately, the work that goes into them will have to be redone. But,
which I did. That was my week. And since I've created a couple others, which I'll show you at some point.
Oh, I'm sure I'll definitely see them. But,
I'm at the point now where I'm cranking them out like within a half hour. If I can line them up, I can. Yeah. So that was my adventure.
That's rough. That is really rough.
And I'll tell you, who is it on, say, Twitter, who posts the, like, if somebody goes, I'm looking for new podcasts, who from Jess's podcast does the posting?
That would be Ashley.
Okay, she's does a great job.
She's really good at, she's really been pushing with she's in charge of Twitter. Jess is in charge of Instagram. They both, well, all three of us will work in tandem for Facebook. And I do the behind the scenes stuff. Like, they did an interview back in April with somebody from Texas. Really nice woman. I think her name was Ariel. And I was helping them set up because they were doing it through Zoom. And I said, well, I'm going to get out of your hair because I'm just the,
tech guy
from behind the scenes. I'm not important. It's these two that are. And both of them and even Ariel had said, no, you do have an important job, so you can sit in and chime in if you want. I'm like, no, this is their thing. I'm just happy to help them out from behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of cool that, and they've been doing really well with it. Well,
what I wanted to tell you was on Twitter, and you can spend hours finding people looking for podcast suggestions. So I just give them the Forever Adventure Network link and basically say, enjoy all three shows. Well, if somebody's going, I'm looking for a true crime podcast, I always go to try and post theirs. But tell Ashley she's been very good at it because she gets to it before I do.
Cool.
Like when, being part of the same family, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
You want true crime? I know the first one to suggest for you. Oh, yeah. He's already there. Okay.
Yeah. It's funny, like, there's a lot of true crime podcasts out there that do the deep dive, which is what they try to do, but there's some where they just kind of like gloss the surface of a lot of the things, and it's like, you can't really do that. If people want like that meaty part of the history of the story or whatever. And something that apparently a lot of people do enjoy is the fact that they have the true crime episodes and then they have a fictional one, so that, if you're into the fictional crime stories, they've got their hook there, but then they've also got the hook of the true crime. And people have actually been very receptive to that. And,
I've noticed that too, because they get other people that will promote for them.
Yeah, and it's comical because when they came up with the idea of, well, yeah, we want to do a Fiction Friday and a True Crime Tuesday, I'm like, okay. For me, that kind of frustrates me a little bit because I like I like my podcasts that I listen to have like a steady schedule. Like Lore has a set schedule. Mike Rowe has a set schedule when he's able to do his episodes. Certain, Welcome to Night Vale, which I haven't listened to them in a while, but I know they had a set schedule. With ours, it doesn't seem like a set schedule because it's every other Tuesday and then the subsequent Fridays for the weeks that are in between. So in reality, it's like they're doing 2 podcasts where they're releasing every other week. So it's kind of cool, and they've been getting a lot of positive reception to it. Like I said earlier, I helped them set up a Patreon, and they've got a couple people on that, and so hopefully,
we have our Patreon. I'm telling the audience too. Every time I post a picture or something, I'm like, if you'd like to help out, $1 here and there would be nice.
Yeah, well, and the thing I think is
for riches.
And
I just want
with the Patreon, I've taken that under my wing of things that I'm responsible for at least posting and organizing and everything. And something I thought was really cool is, like with ours, when we go to schedule or when we go to drop these, I can schedule it to drop at a certain time for like their podcast. Every day that the podcast episode drops, it drops at 1:00 in the morning that day. So by the time people wake up in the morning, it'll either already have been downloaded on their phone automatically if that's what they have it set up to do, or they'll get the notification, oh, hey, Studying Scarlet's got a new podcast. They'll download it and they can listen to it on the car ride, lunch break, whatever. With Patreon, you can do the same thing. You can schedule posts out. So that's kind of cool. That's something I didn't realize.
Yeah, I try to always add a little blog at least once a month. And I want to make sure I'm not just blah, 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 blah. It has to be, it has to have a point.
Yeah, something relevant to
make it worth reading.
Yeah.
Because then in the end to just say, also, if you're enjoying this, help us out, will you? Moving on to TV. Have you been watching Stargirl?
We are caught up on Stargirl.
I have one more episode to go.
Yeah, the finale was a good, solid finale.
Okay, don't spoil it. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I will simply say this. I thoroughly enjoyed it, not knowing really a whole heck of a lot of... I mean, I know the basics of those particular characters, but I thought it was a very well-done series. And there's a very lovely moment in the final couple minutes of the season finale that I thought was very nice and very touching. It was a very kind of wholesome moment. So, I'm sure you'll see it
next time.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Jess and I finished watching that. That's run its course now.
Right, it's done.
And have you watched any of this?
I'm done. I've been done for
a couple seasons.
Yeah, a couple seasons.
Yeah, they did a lot of nice callbacks to earlier seasons, and the way they ended it, like I expected it to be, doom and gloom, everybody dying and all this other stuff.
Sure.
But it was a nice end to the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. chapter. It was a nice just kind of bookend. I mean, I was hoping for a nice little, we're going to link it back all into the cinematic universe, but, unfortunately.
Just why I'm done with it, because I always said, they promised one thing, they gave us something else.
And ultimately, it's because the guy that was in charge of the TV division, he didn't want to play ball with the
cinematic. Stupid.
Yeah, it's like you chose so freaking poorly.
Was that Joss Whedon's brother?
Jed Whedon is one of the writers and creators of the show. No, He wasn't the one in charge. It's some exec that was like the go-between between Marvel and ABC. He's known for being an a-hole. So
way to go.
And I'm pretty sure he had already been removed from his position. So
Good.
hopefully moving forward, they can get it back all connected and everything. But
yeah,
all in all, it was a fairly solid season finale. I was starting to get angry and at one point they do something that the writers had done in Chuck with the Sarah character from Chuck. They did something like that with one of the characters in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
Trying to keep the spoilers light because I don't want to end up in spoiling anything. But they had done something with a character in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. very similarly what they had done to Sarah Walker, and I was angry. Like I almost didn't watch the final episode. Like that's how angry I was, because I'm like, no, this is not cute. This is not funny. This is asinine. The writers have a responsibility to the fans to not pull shit like this.
Mm-hmm.
It's old. It's tired. But then we're watching the episode, and as things are playing out in the episode, I'm like, okay, I'm not angry. I'm confused and concerned. Why are my eyes watering? I hate you people. You're making me cry. It ended up being all right. It ended up being a pretty solid finale. I mean, with the way the show ended up going the last 2 seasons, they couldn't do certain things that I'm sure they probably would have loved to have done. But all in all, it was a good finale.
Good. I sent you a couple things. I started watching Sabrina.
Jess and I had only gotten to watch the first season and the Christmas episode.
I'm 3 episodes in so far. It's good.
Yeah, it's definitely in the vein of the darker,
which is fine.
The darker comics that they had done. I think they had done like a 12-issue arc or something like that.
Well, there's the Afterlife with Archie, which
I
can't wait for the guy to come back and continue that, because I have the kids reading it and they're like, wow, this is fantastic. Everly comes to me, she goes, I just read the one with Archie's dad. I'm like, I know. She's like, wow. So I started watching that. Being home, if I get ahead of stuff, I could kind of put something on to binge somewhat, depending on the show. Do I really need to pay attention or not? And I started watching Longmire because you like that.
I've recommended it. Yep.
I'll make them happy and I'll start watching that. It's different so far. Again, 4 episodes in maybe.
They're very episodic all in all, there is an overall arc.
Sure, but they are episodic, which
very episodic.
I was pleasantly surprised with.
Yeah, as you get further into the series, they start. I don't remember when it's talked about, but there's a cowboy bank robber, that you hear about in a couple episodes here and there, but it's like. I think you'll hear about it in 1 season. You won't hear about it for like several episodes, and then bam, they reference it again. Like, oh, the cowboy bandit struck again, or something. I forget what they call them, which means it's time for a rewatch. But it's funny because if you're really like paying attention to the show, or you're paying enough attention that you can pick up little details like that, they reference all kinds of different things, and that's one of those where the finale was very satisfying. I still kind of hope they're going to come back and do kind of like a one-off follow-up, but that's just, the hopeful in me.
Funny because I've watched Prodigal Son, which I've grown to like. So I posted on there, I said, while I wait for Prodigal Son,
Prodigal Son season finale.
I know.
The interesting thing is that was not the original finale.
Really?
I think the original finale was supposed to be 2 episodes after that, but because of with filming schedules and everything being put on hold,
Cindy,
that was like
took out 2 episodes before.
That was like the perfect finale. I was like, oh my god!
I know, you didn't see it coming either.
Yeah, neither did he.
But I wrote, while I wait for Prodigal Son to return, I've decided to dive into Longmire. I guess I need my Lou Diamond Phillips fix. And he's cute. He retweeted it. And
he's phenomenal in that.
I love him.
I got the chance to meet him at DragonCon the other year dressed as Walt. And he was amazing. and then getting the chance to actually stand and chat with him at another convention, it was just fun. He was quoting different movies and stuff, and we're just having a blast. He was fun.
So
I'd gladly meet him again.
Every time I would post something, he would retweet it, and I thought that was sweet.
I love his
good
character.
exposure. Every time I post something, I put the link to the fan site. So
why not?
That's kind of like just my signature with anything now. Because check it out. There's something there for everybody.
Absolutely, yeah.
But so I started to watch that. It's different than what I thought. I have Mikey watching C.S.I. because he's at the age where he can appreciate Grissom.
Yeah, and I think
not all episodes. Understand?
Yeah,
I know there's some I don't need to see.
Certain episodes with the subject matter might be a bit.
He doesn't need that.
Just too adult for him.
But when he gets to see Grissom being Grissom-y, it's fantastic. So he appreciates that. As a matter of fact, when we're done here, we're going to go watch one.
Cool.
Or two. But get this. Here's some breaking news. They're apparently going to bring back CSI.
Really?
It's like the 20th or 30th anniversary. Let's see. It'd be started in 2000. So 20th anniversary.
20th anniversary.
They're going to do at least a mini season or a
mini run. That's cool.
But get this. Here's what makes it worth it. Granted, it's going to be a whole new team.
Mm-hmm.
But who's coming back but Grissom and Sara? Boom! That's why I watch it. As much as I love Ted Danson.
Yeah, Ted Danson. I enjoyed that they brought him in because he was an interesting. I mean, nothing against
Lawrence
Fishburne.
But they didn't write his character nice. Like, he was a dark character.
Yeah, I think he would have been an interesting one to bring in earlier and have him start as that darker character.
Sure.
And then you see him
evolve,
becoming still a little bit of a dark-edged character, but have that light, have that, hope.
Well, yeah. And then when they brought Ted Danson, he went, well, it's not Grissom, but it's much better.
Yeah.
And you liked him for the rest of it. But in this case, they actually have a whole description of who these other characters are.
Cool.
And they have to call in Grissom and Sara. Well, they have to call in Grissom. Sarah's his wife, so she's coming in.
She'll tag along, yeah.
I'm still so excited.
That's cool. I'll have to check that out.
Oh, they haven't. I'm here now, granted, it's not a done deal yet because they wanted it for this year, but because of the pandemic, it's going to be next year. But they've already signed on. They just have to greenlight it.
Well, yeah, they got to greenlight it, figure out how they're going to be filming because they might have restrictions on set, number of people on set, things like that. But I'm sure they'll do it smart. They'll do it safely. But no, that's fantastic. That's
right.
I loved the original CSI. I know Jess loved CSI Miami, and I think it's just because she was waiting for the stupid, David Caruso moments. I enjoyed New York, but I never actually got the chance to sit down and totally dive into it.
New York was okay. We watched it for a couple seasons, and then we got to the point where we went, you know what? There's not enough hours in the day, and this isn't must-see TV. We have Grissom, and that's really all we need. And we hate David Caruso, so we couldn't. Yeah. Not to mention, did we hate David Caruso? There were so many actors on Miami that we were shocked couldn't act.
Yeah.
The blonde on there, holy crap, she's terrible. She was so hard to watch.
I'm wondering if it was also a big proponent of the particular people running that particular show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wonder.
So,
but yeah, it's so funny because I don't even think of Miami. Like when I think CSI, it's Grissom. I know, they did have spin-offs, but remember they had CSI Cyber,
which
lasted
did not
half a season.
I was going to say, I don't even think that got a full season.
What they tried to do is they went, well, now that CSI is over, we'll have Ted Danson switch over to that team. And by the time he got there, they'd already gotten the notice that they were done.
Yeah. That's all right. We got Ted Danson on The Good Place, and that was a phenomenal show.
I watched a couple episodes. I can't criticize it. All I can say is that type of, I don't know if it's that type of humor or that type of setup. because they do a lot. There's a lot of shows now where it's about the afterlife.
Mm-hmm. Well,
not my cup of tea.
It's the particular, niche right now.
Exactly. Yeah.
I will say, if you give it, because it's only 4 seasons, and I don't think. Yeah, they're not a huge number. It's not like 80 episodes. I think their seasons are only about a dozen episodes. If you get the chance to give it a chance to run the full, at least the first full season, and I enjoyed it. It was one of those, the concept like people dying afterlife. That sounds like a weird concept. I don't know if I'd really.
Yeah.
But watching the dynamic between the cast members and everything, you're bound to love the Janet character just because she's the Alexa.
Yeah, the AI. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a fun series. I think you might enjoy it if you give it that first season. I think you'll.
Imaginary Worlds did a podcast episode about it, which is why I gave it a shot, and they were all about it.
Yeah, it's fun just because I know you're not a fan of cussing and everything like that.
Right.
And
they bleep it out.
Yeah, they cuss in the show, but it's like, are you
mother fudger?
Yeah, are you forking kidding me?
Yeah.
Sure. So what they're trying to say, but they step around it by saying a normal. Yeah, and it's funny because the character that realizes is being told this for a good beat, she's like rattling off different things, and it's not coming out how she wants it to because they're in the afterlife. They can't cuss.
Yeah.
They're in the good place. So it's just comical because it's like you can see the frustration on the character's face, and she's like, mother, forker, and it's just it's hilarious. So, the cast is pretty solid too.
Well, yeah.
So.
I mean, anything with Ted Danson, you pretty much have me because I just love him.
Yeah, I love his character, and just the 6 main characters. It's Ted Danson, Kristen Bell. I can't think of the other 4 characters or the other 4 actors and actresses' names, but they're phenomenal. They have a good dynamic between all of them. So.
And I'm watching. There's a show called The Glitch, which
I don't think I've heard of that one.
It's from Australia. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
Really short seasons. There's been 3, I want to say. Yeah, so I'm on season 2 already. And the basic idea of that is a bunch of people crawl out of their graves. And
weird. That's quite the glitch.
Some are only a couple years old. Some are 100 years old, and they're climbed out as full people. They're not rotted anymore.
So they're back to...
And they don't quite understand what happened to them.
Mm-hmm.
And the sheriff of the town, his wife is one of them. She died from breast cancer 2 years ago. Well, her breasts are back because they had given her a mastectomy. Am I saying that right?
I think it's mastectomy. Yeah.
Mastectomy. So they show, and it's funny too because there's a little nudity in it, but I'll tell you, I admire the way that they do it because they're not doing it for shock value. As a matter of fact, they try to cover it up.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a tasteful nudity.
Like basically they crawled out of their graves naked. So you see a butt now and again.
Yeah.
And when she's looking in the mirror, she's checking out her chest, which in the mirror, she's remembering it not being there.
Yeah.
But then they pan over and she does. But it's not done for the ooh la las of it all.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's done in a tasteful manner. Yeah.
And well, the sheriff,
which I'll have to check that show.
Yeah. The sheriff has since married her best friend, and the best friend is 9 months pregnant with their baby.
Oh no. So that's gonna...
Well, it's amazing too because you can't... What's the guy to do? You can't blame him.
Yeah, I mean, 2 years. Well, at that point, it would have been a year. It's like Jess's dad. Her mother had died. I think at this point we're looking at 11 years. And it's, he has moved on now. He hasn't remarried, but he has been dating a woman for a couple of years. So, I mean, it's just one of those things.
Well, it's great. Go ahead.
We as people, aren't cut out necessarily to be solitary creatures. We need that companionship at the very least.
Well, he he still loves his wife, obviously, and she comes back, and he's like, "Oh boy." Well, they start giving him, each of them start giving him a faceful.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, "How quickly did you move on?" And with my best friend, and he's like, "You told me that you would want me to end up with her. You wanted me to find somebody." She goes,
"Yeah,
it was a suggestion. It wasn't a rule." And the new wife is like upset because here's your old wife back. Where does that leave me?
Yeah.
But I said to Cindy, you can't. This is one of those situations where I think you just have to all live together, because he can't. And I don't know where the series is going to go.
Yeah.
But in that case, you can't give him a hard time. He loves them both, and that there's nothing wrong with that, because who saw this coming? Yeah. And he loved his wife so much that he took all her stuff out of the house but didn't get rid of it. He actually bought a cabin to hold her stuff. And whenever he wanted to be close to her, he would go to the cabin.
Yeah.
So when she comes back, he takes her there and goes, you could stay here in the meantime. She's like, all my stuff is here. It's like, well, I couldn't get rid of it. So
he didn't have the heart. He didn't have the heart to get rid of it. Yeah.
It's something.
Yeah, I'll have to check this out. I'll watch a couple episodes tonight after Jess goes to bed, probably.
There's another show they were talking about on Facebook called The Dark, or just Dark. And
I've seen a couple people talk about that.
Okay,
yeah.
Let me give you a little warning. They're like, it's like Lost. No, it's not. It's not like Lost. This is done in Germany. It's a Netflix original, filmed in Germany, so everything is dubbed. It's a lot of mystery, basically. It's a whole time thing. A kid disappears, ends up back in... To them, it looks like he was kidnapped.
Right.
Well, he comes out. They walk into a cave or something, and when the kid walks out, he's back in 1989. So, current day, you're seeing characters as they were, like they're doing the side-by-side story where here it is, 1989. These kids are in high school. Present day, it's the parents of that kid who disappeared, type of thing.
Okay.
It's not great. I have it on in the background. I'm kind of watching it while I'm working. It's very slow moving, so you're not getting the gratification yet. And also, I have a real hard time understanding who is who.
Yeah, I could see that being very confusing when they're jumping back and forth like that.
But there are some BBC miniseries that are like 8 episodes long. They're all made by the same guy, because it says somebody's The Gate or the whatever. Those are good because they're procedural whodunits, where I'll give you an example. The one was called The Secret, The Stranger. Okay? This girl comes up to this guy at his kid's soccer practice and says, "Did you know that your wife faked her pregnancy?" He's like, "What?" "A couple years ago when you almost left her, she had the pregnancy. Remember when she lost the baby?" "Yeah, she was never pregnant." He's like, "Who are you?" And she leaves. Well, that's
a messed up.
That stirs up a whole thing where he goes and confronts his wife. All of a sudden, the wife disappears.
All right, I got to search out this
stuff. The Glitch, The Stranger. There's another one called, by the same guy, it's in a gated community. it'll lead you. One will lead you to the other when you're done.
Okay.
With them. But anyway, real quick to get through. A lot of fun.
Cool.
He confronts his wife, and then she disappears. All of a sudden, he gets a text that says, "I need a few days." Well, that's not like her. So he starts trying to find her. He's got the 2 boys that he has to raise, and they're all on a search, which just opens up secrets around the whole neighborhood. You will love it. That's a lot of fun.
Cool. There's a series on Netflix called Criminal. There's 4 versions of it.
Yes,
UK.
I'm watching it. The first one had David Tennant.
Yeah, that's
second one had Atwell in it.
Yeah, and I forget who's in the third one, but that in the third episode. But yeah, it's Germany, or it's UK, Germany, France, and I think Spain. I think those are the 4 countries, and they're very interestingly done because basically it's a single room set.
A one and done.
Yeah, and it like I love the concept. Like you're literally a fly on the wall watching these interrogations, and you're like with David Tennant, I'm like, did he do this?
5 minutes of him sitting there going, no comment.
Yeah. No comment. And just like seeing like Haley Atwell, I almost didn't recognize it.
Me too.
Just because it's such a drastic look for her compared to the other.
And she's doing that hard Cockney accent.
Yeah, yeah.
You know who she sounded like? She sounded like Catherine, one of the companions when she did that skit.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah,
remember her and David Tennant did that skit where she was in the classroom?
Lauren Cooper.
Like her.
Yeah, but yeah, so it was that was fun, and it was just a fun because it's like it's the whodunit, and it's the obviously you get the answer by the end of the episode, but they really make you wonder, and I like that with the UK one. Now we only watched I think 1 episode of one of the other ones so far. But I like how they pepper in just a little bit about the other characters.
The
police officers that are sitting there, and they're
the one girl has
doing the guy. The lady with the crush, the guy that I think he quit smoking. Yeah, the new guy, the guy that had quit smoking and struggling with it. It's fascinating that such a simple concept, and they're able to flush so much.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I love the fact that it is a simple setup. You've got the hallway, the hallway that it's like a T hallway, and then you've got the stairwell, you've got the elevator, which you only see them coming in or out of.
Yep.
And then you've got the observation room, which is a simple room where it's literally just 2 desks, one up against the mirror, and then with all the recording equipment. And then you've got the interrogation room, and it's such a really well done concept.
Yeah.
And it's funny, like Justin and I are watching it, and I'm like, I find myself drawn to that damn clock that's in the observation room because it's such an interesting clock.
Yeah.
But it's not interesting enough that it takes you away from the story. It's just like your eye goes to it, but you're still like observing and just absorbing that information. But yeah, that's a fun series that I'm glad to see that there's at least a dozen episodes of it.
Yeah.
That David Tennant one and all of them have been good, but that David Tennant one that was good.
Well, I saw him, so I'm like, well, it looks like I'm watching this now. I thought it was an ongoing with him.
Yeah, but I like the fact that it's not an ongoing with all these. Like the only mainstays are some of the police officers now between UK and I think it's Germany. I don't think there's any carryover of the police officers, but it's the same set.
Isn't that
so that's because they go out, they'll, but it's still the same skyline and everything outside. So it's just kind of weird, but kind of cool that they're still using the same thing.
We're at the last 2 episodes of Luke Cage.
Okay.
Of season 2. I said to Cindy, I saw the one with Iron Fist that I could hear you in my head going, he's only in 1.
Yeah.
And it's a great one, but you watch this, and it's the same thing what they should have done with season 2 in hindsight, of Jessica Jones.
Mhm.
You could tell when they wrote or did the outline for the season, they said, here's the beginning, here's the end. And then they stretch the storyline
to
fit, and that's a mistake because
my only
too much
grievance
of the
with
bad guys.
my main grievance with Luke Cage season 2 is you can, by the end of it, you can tell there was something that ultimately they wanted to try to do in season 3, and unfortunately, they'll never get to it.
Well, so far until
currently there's nothing that can be done about it. I mean, in a year or two's time, hopefully.
Right.
But
exactly. Well, and you could tell they stretched out a story where what they should have done instead was throw in some one-offs. Let's show more of Danny and Luke teaming up.
Yeah.
Let's have Jessica show up. Let's have, like, they could have done the one and done episodes because it would have been much more satisfying.
Yeah.
Instead, they just dragged it out, and I just feel like, okay, this is why when they come back and they're going to do Daredevil, I don't think we're going to get anybody rushing to do another Luke Cage or, sadly, Jessica Jones.
Yeah. Well, and the sad thing is, like, season 3 of Jessica Jones, the thing I liked about that was she's not going up against a supervillain. She's going up against just a guy.
I'm
but
not
it's
there yet. That'll come down the road.
Yeah, it's just a vile, evil human.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I like that it shows, you know, a superhero in a situation where they're not going up against the big, bad, evil,
right.
Dr. Doom level villain. They're going up against a human, so there's certain things that they have to play by. You know, they can't just hit them through a wall because that could kill them. You know, so it's interesting to see that kind of like level of restraint. So, and plus some of the other things that she had to deal with in that season were an interesting choice of situation.
And I think what's after this, we start on maybe season 2 of Iron Fist and then Daredevil, which I can't wait for, obviously.
Daredevil was just phenomenal.
Phenomenal all the way through.
Yeah.
I hope, and there's rumors, because poor Charlie Cox has been given up work because he's been waiting for them to pull the trigger on Daredevil.
Yeah, because now they're at the point where it's that 2-year break in between when the show was canceled and
should be done.
Hopefully.
And people want him in Spider-Man 3, and he said, so far they haven't said anything, but here's hoping.
Yeah.
And, you know, you got the whole cast of that show saying, we'll come back in a second's notice.
Yeah.
Even Kingpin there, he's like, we're waiting. I'm here.
Yeah.
And
some of that also, keep in mind, could be contractually the line that they have to put out there, because Anson Mount, for like the last year, whenever people would ask him about a Pike series for Star Trek.
Oh, okay.
He played Christopher Pike in the 2nd season of Star Trek Discovery.
Right.
Phenomenal in the role.
I have to continue that show.
Yeah. Season 2, I mean, I liked season 1 because it was a very interesting approach to it. Anybody that gripes about the continuity, go back and watch any Star Trek. You'll realize that the continuity is not as precious as they think it is. But like season 2, like I loved the Lorca character from season 1 just because it was a very interesting approach to a character, and I called it with the big reveal with that character, and I loved every second of it because Jason Isaacs, phenomenal actor. But anyway, Anson Mount's portrayal of Christopher Pike just builds on everything that I can't think of the actor's name now. He was in the original pilot for Star Trek.
Yeah.
But, you know, it just took everything that he did in that single episode and just built upon it. And I love that portrayal. And, like, there are 3 conventions I had seen him at. And, you know, the first time I saw him, I said, I'm hoping beyond hope we get to see you reprise the role of Christopher Pike because you were phenomenal. And he had actually revealed, oh yeah, he goes, well, there are a couple of the shorts that we filmed that I am in a couple of those. I'm like, well, that's nice, but I want to see you in your own series. And he said, well, hopefully the fans will speak loud enough. But I can't. But I can't say that I can't say that I've gotten any word or mumblings of it. I'm like, well, here's hoping. Yeah, and I got to chat with him about a couple other things. But anyway, month or so goes by. Saw him at DragonCon. Quick little interaction. Asked him if he was having a blast. He was. And same thing. He goes, I haven't heard anything yet. Okay. Months later at Steel City Con, got to actually chat with him about his podcast because I'd listened to a bunch of episodes, and I told him I love the concept of it. It's called The Well, and it's where people go for their drive, their creativity. That what well do they go to for? And it's not just famous people; it's like astrophysicists and anybody and everybody. So really, really fascinating one to listen to. But anyway, and it was after all the little episodes had dropped, and I got to talk to him about that. And I said, still holding out hope that we'll get that news. And he goes, I still haven't heard anything, but just keep boosting the signal. And then sometime between the beginning of the year and when COVID happened, I think it was around COVID happening or starting, they revealed that they are doing a series called Strange New Worlds. And it's about the Enterprise crew with Pike and Spock and Number One. So the three people that I was hoping for are getting the chance to reprise their roles. And I'm sitting there like, okay, Anson, I love you, but I'm calling BS because probably in December you knew and you just couldn't go into detail because of contracts. God, I love it.
Yeah.
But it's like, that's the thing. A lot of people don't realize that sometimes these actors have to sit on that news for months, And right now,
I know.
because of everything going on, it's probably even worse because,
I watched the first episode of Picard. Love it.
That was a very well done series.
Love it.
I'm here for season 2. I've been watching that Lower Decks animated series.
Any good?
And it's fun. You can't expect it to be, it's very along the lines of like your Bob's Burgers, Simpsons,
Yeah, that's fine.
It's a nice holdover until, it doesn't really take itself serious, which I think is something I appreciate about it. But it's about the screw ups on the ship. It's the the highest. Yeah, it's like ensigns and yeomans, and it's the people that do the dirty work, but yet the bridge crew are the ones that get all the credit.
I'm watching Picard, and I'm enjoying it. It's the direction, the lighting, the story pacing. Again, one episode, but it's chock full of nuance. And this is cool, and I can't wait to see it. I go back to try and watch. Because on BBC they show Next Generation episodes. Can't.
It's hard to go back.
Oof.
It's hard to go back to.
It's like watching a play.
Yeah, it just goes to show how much we as devourers of entertainment, how much the quality has changed. It's not that it's bad.
But there's not a lot going on with.
Yeah,
one of the things I can never get into with any of the shows. I like the movies, but with the shows, it's a lot of sitting around and talking.
Yeah,
and then if they do shoot a laser, it's a ship standing still, shooting a laser at something. I find it. I blame myself, but I find it very hard to get into it.
Yeah, I will say. Between all the Star Trek series, Deep Space Nine, I think, was probably my favorite because they did have more action-oriented episodes, but still were fairly truthful or true to that hallmark of, trying to be diplomatic, trying to be more scientific about things. But Sisko was not afraid to throw down in a battle if need be,
I always heard Voyager was stronger.
Voyager's not too bad, but it got better once they started introducing like Seven of Nine's character. You know, that's when
from what I understand, once they got lost is when things started to pick up. Again, I don't know. I don't watch.
Well, they technically get lost in the first episode, but once they start getting the cast really like strengthened up, you'll notice an improvement in stories. But yeah, I mean, all those different Star Trek series have a season or a couple seasons that aren't necessarily their strongest, but are still it's good. It's just you have to realize that you've got to wade through the shallow waves, the shallow stuff to get to some of the really good story arcs.
And finally, we're getting another wave of hope in the world of Stargate.
Yes,
Did you hear about that?
I've heard rumblings. I haven't heard anything definitive because I figured we talked about it here on podcast.
Right. The latest is Paul Malozzi, friend of the show, does basically a daily blog, which I wish I could keep up on it, but I try and tune in when I think it's like he'll post on Twitter a subject and then you go and you check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, Brad Wright has said something's coming. I can't say. I've been, you haven't heard from me, but that's because I've been
busy with stuff,
negotiating and everything. And Paul had done a blog where he was like, we're closer now than we have been in the last, since the since the franchise was halted, we're as close now as we've ever been. Stay ready.
Yeah, I've been chomping at the bit waiting for, like, I had to laugh. My cousin sat down and he's like, I'm going to watch Stargate. I'm like, good. I applaud this.
It changed your life.
What do you need? He goes, I don't need anything. He goes, because I'm able to stream everything. He goes, but I can't find the movies. He didn't even finish the sentence, and I was already at my TARDIS, ranking open the doors, reached in because I knew exactly where they were. Here, just bring them back when you're done. Okay.
But he doesn't have to worry about them until the end.
Yeah, but he, because he was getting closer to the end because he.
Oh, okay. I thought he was just starting.
Yeah, no, I think he had said he just got introduced to Cameron Mitchell.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So,
yeah,
he's enjoying it. He's enjoyed everything so far. But yeah, I'm excited that my cousin picked up Stargate.
I'm telling you. Let me let you guys. Yeah, you guys got to go do something, right?
Yeah, we've got a couple of things that we need to run and do. So,
all right, let me let you go. Let's not wait this long to do this because.
Oh yeah, let's do more often now that we're.
Yeah, you know me. I'm free. You just tell me 9 out of 10 times I can hop on and shoot the bull.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, right. Now that her school schedule or her work schedule is going to be going back to nights, that'll free me up during the week during the night.
Good.
Do.
All right, and everybody, check out the Forever Adventure Network. Any of your support help sharing this. This will be on YouTube and on our Facebook
absolutely.
Page.
You'll get to see our goofy looking faces. So
here it is. So please continue to support us. Just by checking out the Forever Adventure Network helps greatly because that shows that there's people looking, and we guarantee there's something there, whether it's our store, our podcast, audio adventure, music,
anything, everything, really.
Honestly, and we're constantly adding to stuff all the time. All right. We're going to let everybody go. We'll see you on the next adventure. And if Nate can remember.
I remember it. It's stay excited, everybody.
See you guys later.
The Never Gets Old podcast is part of the Forever Adventure Network. Music by Harmony Constant. Some artwork by Joseph Arnold and Jared Brown. Donations can be made to Patreon, to Mac Jackson. Join our group pages on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at Never Gets Old Pod. Please subscribe, rate, and review. And remember, stay excited, everyone. The Forever Adventure Network. Welcome to the adventure. Hi, everybody. It's Mac Jackson. I wanted to invite you to a new site called the Forever Adventure Network. This website has everything. Pictures, videos, blogs. There's original music by Harmony Constant. 2 podcasts. One is the MacGyver podcast, where we celebrate Richard Dean Anderson, his iconic roles, and how it's influenced our lives. There's episode discussions, interviews, and life conversations. The second podcast is the Never Gets Old podcast, where we celebrate all the best things that we love in life, from TV, movies, music, and comics. The site is also the home for the MacGyver SG-1 audio series, an ongoing adventure series that continues the adventures of MacGyver and SG-1. There are also multiple stores to choose from for all of your pop culture and adventure needs. Come on by and check us out today. And thanks for joining the adventure.